The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady Volume Review. I think it's fair to say that when it comes to the GL market, the light novel industry is one of that hasn't quite caught on to the trend, at least in the West. So those looking for something new in the genre may have the new yen press release. The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady catch their eye, but it's worth it. Let's find out. The story follows 17-year-old Princess Anispia, born to the royal bloodline known for her strong magic powers. However, young Anispia has no talent for magic and finds herself unable to use it. Since she has a brother who can take up the mantle of king later on life, Anispia removes herself from the light. A succession and pours her energy into developing magicology. As it turns out, Anispia has memories of a past life in Japan, and thanks to this, she has countless ideas for magical tools she can create. But both the better the lives of those in the kingdom and also to give her the ability to experience something like magic. For example, Anispia has a magical broomstick that she loves racing around on, and it gives her the experience of flight magic without needing to be able to use magic herself. It's due to these broomsticks that Anispia finds herself accidentally crashing a noble party where childhood friend Eupilia is being shamed for something she hasn't done and then dumped by her fiance, Anispia's brother. Anispia does what every good friend would do and kidnaps Eupilia, removing her from the situation, then back to the castle where she asks her father, the king, and Eupilia's father if she take over her on as an assistant at her magicology research. The king is outraged at his son's behavior and breaking off his engagement with Eupilia, and readily agrees to leave her in Anispia's care. Our protagonist is overjoyed and vows to protect Eupilia no matter what, even readily proclaiming she'll marry her if needs be. After all, she finds Eupilia beautiful and has no interest in getting hitched to a guy. For poor Eupilia, this is all of a bit of a whirlwind and she has no idea what to do with herself. Now her engagement has fallen through. She spent so much of her life preparing to be queen alongside Anispia's brother that she's never had a chance to think about anything else. Life with Anispia gives her much more freedom than she used to, and for the first time, no one has high expectations for her. The more time Eupilia spends with Anispia, the more she begins to see a new path opening up to her. Anispia is well known throughout the kingdom of being eccentric, mostly due to her weird inventions and impulsive nature that constantly give the king a headache. But she desperately wants to create tools that help people and allow those with no magical talent an opportunity to feel like they are using magic. Eupilia sees the value in this dream, but she also sees firsthand that Anispia desperately needs someone to keep her in line. But if she does something that will cause her harm, like fighting vicious monsters for materials. A lot of this first book is set up with Eupilia working through her feelings and Anispia causing trouble left and right. At first, I drew the pacing was too slow, but the climax manages to make up for that, forcing Eupilia and Anispia to work through some of the more difficult feelings they've been having. As far as the romance goes, there's a slow burn and mostly put aside, but it's clear that Anispia had feelings for Eupilia. And as far as Eupilia goes, she feels something for Anispia. She goes just not sure what, unsurprising perhaps, given she spent all the time engaged on Anispia's brother. But I'm sure as the series goes on, she's modeled trying to find an answer for herself. At the very least, she knows she wants to stay by this eccentric princess's side. Because so much of this volume is laying foundation for the future, it's not the plot that truly shines here but the interactions between the cast. I love Anispia's quirky personality. It is great fun watching the reactions of those around her as she runs around causing chaos wherever she may go. Some of my favorite scenes involve her maid, Ilya, who also doubles as something of a motherly figure to the girl, up until Eupilia arrives. Ilya has been the only one able to keep Anispia in line, but it's clear that there is a strong bond between the two, no matter how much they bicker. Usually I find these kinds of light novels lean into their being silly with no real emotional depth or too serious, but other Piero Carasso manages to capture the delicate balance of keeping things light-hearted and also emotional and what it needs to be. I appreciate how much character development this first entry provides, but also simply being fun to read. It's sure to please readers, no matter what they're looking for, and leave them eager to follow more on Anispia's adventures in the future. As previously mentioned, The Magic Revolution, The Reincarnated Princess, and The Genius Young Lady Volume 1 comes to the West. Thanks to Yen Press, it has been translated by Hayden Trowell. The translation reads well and especially appreciate how Trowell has handled Anispia's dialogue, which is quippy and more often hilarious. This release includes color pages handled by the series illustrator Yuri Kisaragi, which shows some of the cuter moments of the book, as well as profiles of the main cast. On the wall, the illustrations of the first book and this first volume are focused on the girls being cute together, but they're perfectly fine, even that a lot of that happens until they end otherwise. The series is going in Japan on 4 volumes, and volumes is scheduled for an English release in July. The Empress also as the manga adaptation coming out in June. Overall, the magical revolution, the reincarnated princess, and the genius young lady, Volume 1, presents an entertaining read about the eccentric young princess and the woman she brings on as an assistant. The first installment can feel a bit slow as it sets out the foundation for the books to come, but the personalities of the cast and the silly situations they find themselves in will have you eager to come back for more. 8 over 10.